All right. Levels. Levels. All right. Get the chat up there. All right. It's time for the first. I really need background music here. I'll add that after. Did a lot of work on this, man. Hopefully my voice will hold up. Because I don't usually talk for long periods of time. Freeman and Nectar are here. Let's wait for at least one more clown to show up, so we have at least 3 clowns watching. In the first ever Toronto Guy Hangout, if everything goes well, we'll make this a weekly thing. And hopefully the laptop can hold up. But anyway, but I want an arts degree. Come on, shut up. You can get no degrees, okay? Nothing. Everybody shut up and just listen. All right, today we're going to be learning about money people. All right? Money people. As says in the title, smart, rich people. You can see by the, well, who I'm talking about there. That is Jeff Bezos. We're going to learn about Jeff Bezos. Some things you probably didn't even know. I didn't even know about. Some things I didn't even know about him. And we're also going to take a look inside one of Amazon's fulfillment centers with an 11-minute video. These things are insane. We're also going to be looking at holy rich people, wealthy pastors who preach the gospel, but sure as hell don't live the life of the gospel that they preach, apparently. And we're going to look at stupid rich people. Not all of them were stupid, but they were all rich at one point because they won lotteries, and then they lost it all. Some for stupid reasons, some were murdered. So I got my water here, plus my Brita, because I don't know if my voice is going to hold up. Okay, let's just pretend there's thousands of people here and just begin, all right? We're going to start with this. We're going to start with Bezos himself. So let's, we do have some background music for the other, for the pastors and the lottery winners, but I didn't pick any background music for Bezos, so let's get rid of this. Thank you. All right, we're going to start with the one and only richest man on the fucking planet, Jeffrey Bezos himself. As I scroll over to my other screen, I like this setup. I have my laptop here and my TV up here, which my laptop is feeding another screen to us. So I have 2 screens. That's why I want a bigger desk so I can have 3 screens. Money's what people worship, Freeman? Oh, wait till we get to the pastors, man. I knew some of them were wealthy, but what you gonna do? All right, but we're gonna start with this guy right here. This is Jeff Bezos. The richest fucking dude on the damn planet. Get the chat there. All right. So Jeffrey Preston Bezos. Probably shouldn't talk so loud. It puts a strain on my voice. I can already feel it going nuts. This is probably going to be like 7 hours long. Jeffrey Preston Bezos, born January 12, 1964, is an American internet entrepreneur, industrialist, media proprietor, and investor. Bezos is the founder and CEO of the multinational technology company Amazon. Technology, I would consider it more of like a wholesale company. Technology, but judge for yourself. Anyway, he is the richest person in the world according to Forbes' real-time billionaires ranking. All right, now there's a lot of people on Twitter in the social media universe who say, oh, people like Bezos, they just got where they are because of this color of their skin and what's between their legs. Well, that's not necessarily true with my man Jeff. You know, as much as you may want to hate on Lex Luthor here with all his wealth, the dude isn't exactly stupid. Yeah, I know, right, Nectar? Technology? Well, we'll just listen on. You obviously don't know, and that's why we're going to teach your ass. We're going to start with little Jeff. Jeff was born in Albuquerque and raised in Houston, later Miami. He graduated from Princeton University in 1986, and he holds a degree in electrical engineering and computer science. Yeah, so color of his skin, my ass. He worked on Wall Street in a variety of related fields from 1986 to 1994. Bezos founded Amazon in late 1994 on a cross-country road trip from New York City to Seattle. The first time I heard about Amazon was when I lived in a little basement apartment in Newmarket. Well, you both know where Newmarket is. You're in the same province. And I wanted to get a DVD, a wrestling DVD, and I had dial-up internet at the time. So I was like, where can I get it? Where can I get it from online? And then this Amazon thing popped up, and I was like, what the hell is Amazon? So I thought, okay, they have the DVD. Let's order it from there. It's going to come from the States, probably take 3 weeks. It took 3 days. This was in probably like 98. And I couldn't believe, I was like, holy shit, this Amazon place took like 3 days to deliver a friggin' DVD from America to Canada. Damn. Crazy. He's not of Euro ancestry either. Not actually the W word. Well, he's from Albuquerque. He was born in America. He's a silly Yankee. So anyway, he founded Amazon in late 1994 on a cross-country road trip from New York City to Seattle. The company began as an online bookstore, which a lot of people probably knew about. An online bookstore. This dude took Amazon from an online bookstore to what we're going to read about here. He has since expanded to a wide variety of other e-commerce products and services, including video and audio streaming, cloud computing, and artificial intelligence. And Amazon is currently the world's largest online sales company, the largest internet company by revenue, and the world's largest provider of virtual assistants and cloud infrastructure services through its Amazon Web Services branch. Let's see if there's anything I can skip here. Yeah, let's skip that. The first, Amazon is what the world goes around in. You're not, Bezos, man. He's not stupid. The first centibillionaire, whatever that means, on the Forbes Wealth Index, Bezos was named the richest man in modern history after his net worth increased to $150 billion with a B in July 2018. In August 2020, according to Forbes, he had a net worth exceeding $200 billion. And in 2020, during COVID-19 pandemic, Bezos' wealth grew by approximately $24 billion. Oh, what do you do? Well, who needs that much money? But I mean, as I've said before, man, watching my bank account grow, I like watching it grow. I want it to grow even more. So, yeah. Nectar says, he the same tribe that hatched me. How do I praise this? Since it's the group neither controlled side is allowed to point out or criticize, I round on my own tribe of usurers. Stop acting like you're rich like Bezos, Nectar. You're not. If you are, there's that green bar up there. Give me some of that Bezos. All right, early life. As we switch pictures here, let's take a look at little Bezos when he was young. Here's little Bezos in his little bookstore. I should probably put the chat in the up. Let me put the chat over on the second screen. There we go. Now I can read it much better. And we push that down there. Still getting out the little kinks here. Bezos displayed scientific interest in technological proficiency and once rigged an electric alarm, to keep his younger siblings out of his room. Okay, this is when he was a kid. An electric alarm to keep his friggin' brothers and his siblings out of his friggin' room. I tried to do that when I was living at home, and my sister and her 2 kids were living there too. Her oldest boy, who was probably like 2 or 3 at the time, would want to always come in my room and hang. I just put a lock on the door. This dude created an alarm, a security alarm, when he was a kid. Anyway, the family moved to Miami, Florida, where Bezos attended Miami Palmetto High School. While he was in high school, he worked at McDonald's as a short order line cook during the breakfast shift, which surprised me. I didn't know McDonald's had a line cooks. He attended the student science training program at the University of Florida. He was school valedictorian and a National Merit Scholar, a Silver Knight Award winner in 1982, and in his graduation speech, Bezos told the audience that he dreamed of the day when mankind would colonize space. So typical white male fashion, he just wants to colonize everything. Nectar says, I'm not the rich ones, but there is bigoted nepotism that occurs in corporations and the financial world and legal system and the media. Stop being jealous of his wealth, Nectar. But yes, I know, especially in the media, bloody hell. A local newspaper quoted Bezos' intention as, quote, to get all people off the earth and see it turned into a huge national park. So according to this newspaper, Bezos wanted everybody off the planet so they can turn the planet Earth into an amusement park or something. That's one big national park. Anyway, in 1986, he graduated summa cum laude from Princeton University with a 4.2 grade point average. The dude's not stupid. And a Bachelor of Science degree in engineering and computer science. He was also a member of Phi Beta Kappa, which is a well-known fraternity. While at Princeton, Bezos was a member of the Quadrangle Club. In addition, he was elected to Tau Beta Pi and was the president of the Princeton chapter of the Students for Exploration and Developmental Space, otherwise known as SEDS. Now we're going to get to his career. How Bezos became the worship of the envy of people like Nectar. Little sips, man. Where the hell is everybody? So after Bezos graduated college in 1986, he was offered a job at Intel, Bell Labs, and Anderson Consulting, among others. He first worked at Fitel, a fintech telecommunications startup. So this was in 1986. And when was he born? Yeah, highlight that so I don't lose my spot. He was born in 64. So at the age of 22, he was going places, all right? The age of 22. When I was 22, I was working night shift at the shithole with no ambition whatsoever. And Matt Nectar says mass murdering eugenist is what he sounds like for the good of the planet, of course. Well, don't worry, man. We're going to get to all of his the people who don't like him and what they've said about him in a second here. You should put your stuff in here in this Wikipedia, Nectar. Oh my God. Bezos was promoted to head of development and director of customer service thereafter. He transitioned into the banking industry when he became a product manager at Bankers Trust. And he worked there from 1988 to 1990. He then joined D.E. Shaw and Company, a newly founded hedge fund. Friggin' hedge funds, man. Since I started doing the stock market shit, learning more about stocks, those hedge funds, man. That thing that happened with GameStop a couple months ago, those hedge funds people did not like it at all. Anyway, the hedge fund company, he had a strong emphasis on mathematical modeling in 1990, and he worked there until 1994. Bezos became D.E. Shaw's fourth senior vice president at age 30. Because he was a white male. That's all it was because of. It got nothing to do with the fact that he went to Princeton, had the 4.2 GPA, and he created a little friggin' alarm system for his bedroom. Nothing to do with that. Everything to do with the skin color. That's right. Now we get to Amazon. In late 1993, Bezos decided to establish an online bookstore. A bookstore. He left his job at D.E. Shaw and founded Amazon in his garage on July 5th, 1994. I remember seeing a little picture. I don't know if it was made up or if it was fake or something, of some dude sitting in a cluttered office. And there was a piece of paper with Amazon written on it, taped to the wall. They say that was Bezos. I don't know if it was. I haven't seen that picture in a while. But yeah, he founded Amazon in his garage after the little road trip, which he rode on his cross-country drive from New York to Seattle. Prior to settling on Seattle, Bezos had investigated... Get this shit. Prior to settling on Seattle, Bezos had investigated setting up his company at an Indian reservation near San Francisco. Why? In order to avoid paying taxes. But remember, this is when he had no money. So, I mean, it's not like he was already a billionaire and said, I want to move here and not pay taxes. Because surely he wouldn't do that, right? So anyway, Bezos initially named his new company Cadabra, as in abracadabra. But later changed the name to Amazon after the Amazon River in South America, in part because the name begins with the letter A, which is the beginning of the alphabet. That's when, remember back, 2 years ago, I changed from Toronto guy to absent-minded thee. I did that because of the letter A, so it would appear at the top of people's subscriptions list, thinking that would help. And now I'm Toronto guy again. So I unknowingly stole Bezos' idea, only it didn't turn me into a billionaire yet. Freeman says there are certainly evil ones, but most of them are the people who make our civilization run. Exactly. I've said many times, you don't become a freaking wealthy motherfucker without being pretty friggin' ruthless. And this guy, he's Jeff Bezos. Exactly, Freeman. Can't blame the guy for not wanting to pay taxes. I mean, bloody hell, I had to pay for, as we segue for a second. Remember I said I had to pay this year because of the friggin' work share shit? $52. I mailed my shit in. Like 2 weeks later, they took the money out of my account. Meanwhile, when I get a refund, it takes like a month and a half to 2 months for them to give me that money. Crazy friggin' government. Yeah. Bezos accepted an estimated $300,000 from his parents and invested in Amazon. So he wasn't rich yet. Despite working for all these banks and on Wall Street and shit, he still needed to borrow $300,000 from his parents to start up Amazon. And here's something funny. Bezos warned many early investors that there was a 70% chance that Amazon would fail or go bankrupt, which is probably true, but holy crap. But that's probably not exactly the smartest thing to do with your investors, because then they'll pull their money out. But then again, there's probably rules for Wall Street and that kind of thing that, hey man, you got to friggin' let people know if your shit's going to be sucky. Although Amazon was originally an online bookstore, Bezos had always planned to expand to other products. 3 years after Bezos founded Amazon, he took it public with an initial public offering, also known as the IPO, which I'm familiar with, getting into the stock market recently. In response to critical reports from Fortune and Barron's, Bezos maintained that the higher growth of the internet would overtake competition from larger book retailers such as Borders and Barnes & Noble. So Bezos saw in 1990s that the internet was going to be a big freaking deal, and it is, man. Internet is putting a lot of people out of work because of these white males. Anyway, in 1998, Bezos diversified into the online sale of music and video, and by the end of the year, he had expanded the company's products to include a variety of other consumer goods. This is by the end of 1998. Now on friggin' Amazon, bloody hell, you can buy friggin' Jelly Bellies, and hell, you can order Jelly Bellies, a friggin' dildo, and a friggin' cat brush in one order. That's how friggin', like, it went from a bookstore to be able to do that. Crazy. Bezos used the $54 million raised during the company's 1997 equity offering to finance aggressive acquisition of smaller competitors. So this is when the evil Jeff Bezos starts to appear. As he goes around and he starts taking his money and sucking up other companies so he'd have, no competition. But they didn't have to sell to him. In 2000, Bezos borrowed $2 billion from banks as its cash balances dipped to only $350 million. In 2002, Bezos led Amazon to launch Amazon Web Services, which compiled data from weather channels and website traffic. He's getting more evil as we go. In late 2002, rapid spending from Amazon caused it financial distress when revenue stagnated. So he was just buying up too much shit and not selling enough. So it was almost like a kind of like a Bernie Madoff type thing, which I want to do if these hangouts take off. I want to do a Bernie Madoff little thing because that dude was a mega ass dick. So after the company nearly went bankrupt, he closed distribution centers and laid off 14% of Amazon workforce. In 2003, Amazon rebounded from financial instability and turned a profit of $400 million. In November 2007, Bezos launched the Amazon Kindle, which I have an Amazon Fire, which I like my Amazon Fire. I like it very much. According to 2008 Time profile, Bezos wished to create a device that allowed a flow state, whatever that means, in reading similar to the experience of video games. So he wanted to create a device that flowed like a video game. I mean, you can play video games on your Fires. I don't know how it flows, but then again, maybe what he means is that you can read books on it, you can watch movies on it, and all. So yeah, I have movies on mine and comic books. Yeah. But anyway, in 2013, Bezos secured in 2013, young evil Bezos secured a $600 million contract with the CIA on behalf of Amazon Web Services. What the hell does an online retailer need a $600 million contract with a federal government agency that spies on people for? Freeman says unruly is bad, but human nature just cannot go by the rules. We all have a price. Hell yeah, we do. I have a price. I'm not going to deny it. He's a monopolist parasite. He walked no. Can I make this bigger? There we go. He walked no balancing act, instead draining from other businesses and growing his own too big. Well, I agree. He did grow it too big, and by the time it was too big, we're going to learn coming up that the government couldn't do shit about it. So after he got this contract with the CIA, in October of that year, 2013, Amazon was recognized as the largest online shopping retailer in the world. It's 2013, so about 11 years after he started it. I remember, as I said, I had never even heard. I was on my little web TV dial-up system in that basement apartment looking for a place that sold. I don't remember what wrestling DVD, but I did a search. Amazon popped up, and I thought, okay, let's try Amazon. Hopefully it's legit and they won't rip me off. 3 days later, I had my DVD. Couldn't believe it. Bezos in the 2010s. In May 2016, Bezos sold he sold a little more than 1 million shares of his holdings in the company for $671 million. This is in 2016. Right now, the Amazon stock is roughly hovering. Oh, Fish is here. You're talking about Jeff Boy. Yes, we're talking about Jeff, the brilliant, evil motherfucker Bezos. So in 2016, he sold just, let's say, 1 million even shares of his Amazon stock for $671 million. Right now, basically, the Amazon stock hovers at about $3,000 a share. So 3,000 times 1 million. Echo, what is 3,000 times 1 million?
3,000 times 1 million is 3 billion.
So right now he could have gotten $3 billion instead of $671 million for selling all that stock. Crazy. On August 4th, 2016, Bezos sold another million of his shares for $756.7 million. A year later, Bezos took on 130,000 new employees when he ramped up hiring at company distribution centers. We're going to be taking a look into one of those fulfillment centers in a video. It's crazy, crazy shit. By January 19th, 2018, his Amazon stock holdings had appreciated to slightly over $109 billion. Months later, he began to sell stock to raise cash for other enterprises, including, or in particular, Blue Origin, which is one of his little side companies. On January 29th, 2018, he was featured in Amazon's Super Bowl commercial. And on February 1st, 2018, Amazon reported its highest ever profit with quarterly earnings of $2 billion. So that's quarterly. So that's $8 billion a year. People like me making this guy friggin' loaded. I have Amazon Prime. I like getting my stuff the same day. It's just, as evil as we all like to think that this guy is, let's get the more recent picture of him up. We're going to see a picture of him and his now ex-wife in a little bit. So, whoops. There we go. There's our dude. Yeah. As evil as we all like to say this guy is, we can't not deal with him. We can't. Well, where are we gonna go? It's just too convenient. You know what I mean? We're just so. It's unfortunate, but it's our own fault. It's not got nothing to do with the color of his honky skin and everything to do with the fact that he provides a service that all of us want. So anyway, due to the growth of Alibaba in China, Bezos has often expressed interest in expanding Amazon into India. And on July 27, 2017, Bezos momentarily became the world's wealthiest person over Microsoft co-founder Bill Gates, when his estimated net worth increased to just over $90 billion. So Bill Gates held that spot for a long ass time. Daniel's here too. Daniel's going to learn about Bezos. Daniel's got just letting everybody know, Daniel's got $1,000. Daniel can become the next billionaire. All right. Anyway, Bezos' wealth surpassed $100 billion for the first time on November 24th, 2017, and he was formally designated the wealthiest person in the world by Forbes on March 6, 2018, with a net worth of $112 billion. Billion. Let's skip all the. Oh no, here's some stuff where people start saying "fuck you, Bezos." Take a drink. In March 2018, Bezos dispatched Amit Agarwal, Amazon's global senior vice president, to India with $5.5 billion to localize operations throughout the company's supply chain routes. So going and investing, taking that shit to India with its population, Bezos, he's going to become the world's first trillionaire. Maybe, because he has since resigned. We're going to learn about that in a second. But yeah, taking that shit to India is, anyway. But then again, India is pretty much used to poor treating employees like shit. Bloody hell, they have child labor over there. Anyway, later in the month, that being March 2018, 45th President of the United States, Donald J. Trump, accused Amazon and Bezos specifically of sales tax avoidance. Everybody remember this? He accused them also of misusing postal routes, basically taking over the job of post carriers everywhere, and anti-competitive business practices, which is true, but whose fault is it that they let the guy get too big? It's all your faults and mine. Amazon's share price fell by 9% in response to the president's negative comments. This reduced Bezos' personal wealth by $10.7 billion, which might not seem like a lot considering he's a multi-billionaire, but I mean, if I piss away $100, I mean, I'm not a billionaire, but I imagine losing $10 billion to a guy like Jeff Bezos would be me like losing $10,000. It's just like, come on, man. And weeks later, Bezos recouped his losses when an academic reports came from Stanford University indicated that Trump could do little to regulate Amazon in any meaningful way. Yep. In other words, you can't do shit, Trump. None of you frigging politicians can do shit. We let this guy get too big. Now what? Exactly. Money. During July 2018, a number of members of the U.S. Congress called on Bezos to detail the applications of Amazon's face recognition software. So Bezos now has face recognition software. Probably has something to do with that contract with the CIA. Additionally, statements by the Trump administration in favor of overturning the antitrust law known as the Paramount Decree have been predicted to help Amazon acquire the Landmark Theaters chain. So they did all this to try to stop him. And what did he do? He just bought up more shit. Oh my God. Anyway, criticism of Amazon's business practices continued in September 2018 when Senator Bernie Sanders introduced the Stop Bad Employers by Zeroing Out Subsidies Act, also known as Stop Bezos Act. Okay? Bad Employers by Zeroing Out Subsidies spells Bezos. Sanders. Well done. And he accused Amazon of receiving corporate welfare, which is pretty much true if it's true that Amazon doesn't pay taxes, which we all hear that they don't. Because if, bloody hell, if you did force them to pay taxes, they'd take their business elsewhere. It's like a catch-22 double-edged sword, man. Goldfish buys controller mods from Amazon Prime. I buy shit from Amazon Prime. I bought my friggin' mini stream deck from Amazon Prime. I bought my my filters for my microphone from Amazon Prime. I bought the 3 lights flashing on me right now from Amazon Prime, goddammit. So people can piss and moan all they want, but shut the fuck up. You're friggin' making them rich. All right? All of you, not me. Anyway. So Bernie Sanders created or introduced the Stop Bezos Act when he accused them of receiving corporate welfare. So basically receiving, I guess, money from the government and not paying taxes. This followed revelations by the nonprofit group New Food Economy, which found that 1/3 of Amazon workers in Arizona and 1/10 of it. Sally's sneezing. And 1/10 of Amazon workers in Pennsylvania and Ohio relied on food stamps. So they're employed full-time at Amazon, but they don't make enough money still. Now, it all depends on the minimum wage, right? But could it be because they don't make enough? Could it be because they spend money like they're billionaires themselves? You don't just assume that because people are on food stamps, it's because they don't make enough. It could be because they just can't control their goddamn spending. Speaking of which, we're going to learn about people who couldn't control their spending later on here. And while preparing to introduce the bill, the Sanders Stop Bezos bill, Sanders opined, instead of attempting to explore Mars or go to the moon, how about Jeff Bezos pays his workers a living wage? And he later says Bezos could play a profound role. If he said today nobody who is employed at Amazon will receive less than a living wage, it would send a message to every corporation in America. Which is true. It's true, man. Amazon's got all this cash, and apparently they pay their employees shit. Happy employees, man. But then again, I watched a video of former Amazon workers watching an episode of South Park that had Amazon shit in it, and a lot of the former workers said, "Oh yeah, that's exactly what it's like." And then at the end, a lot of them said, "I like working at Amazon." So, and another one of them said that, "Hey, if one Amazon worker quits, there's thousands of others just waiting to fill the spot." It's like I say about the Leaf fans not going to Leaf games. Anyway, Sanders' efforts to elicit a response from Amazon, which pointed to the 130,000 jobs it created in 2017. So, in other words, Sanders came out with this law, and Bezos fired back, said, "Hey, man, we created 130,000 jobs last year, so shut the fuck up." Anyway, and he called the $28,446 figure for its median salary misleading, as it included part-time workers. However, Sanders countered that the companies targeted by his proposal have placed an increased focus on part-time workers to escape benefit obligations. Yeah, evil Bezos coming through. So he's hiring part-time people in order to not pay out any benefits. You're a bad fucking man. Anyway, on October 2nd, 2018, Bezos announced a company-wide wage increase, which Sanders applauded. This was 2018. We've heard recently that I don't know what state it's in, but a state in a state in America of Amazon workers are trying to unionize. So it probably wasn't much of a wage increase. Anyway, the American workers who were being paid the minimum wage had this increased to $15 per hour, a decision that was interpreted as support for the Fight for $15 movement. But this isn't at all Amazon plants, right? $15 an hour. Anyway, in February 2021, you excited for football tomorrow? Sure, why not? In February 2021, Bezos announced that in the third quarter of this year, he's going to be stepping down from his role as CEO of Amazon to become the executive chair of the Amazon board. So he's not going to be CEO anymore, but he's still going to be on the chair. the board. So I don't know what this is going to mean. He will be replaced as CEO by a white male named Andy Jassy. So it makes me wonder if this Andy Jassy is going to be able to overrule Bezos. If not, then what the hell is the point of Bezos stepping down? So on February 2nd, 2021, Bezos sent an email to all Amazon employees telling them the transition would give them the time and energy I need to focus on the Day One Fund, the Bezos Earth Fund, Blue Origin, the Washington Post, which Bezos owns, and my other passions. Yeah. Just, man, seriously, man, just give it time, man. Amazon and Disney are going to own freaking everything. Ugh. On August 5th, 2013, Bezos announced his purchase of the Washington Post for $250 million in cash. So now he owns a friggin' national newspaper. Nectar says the true believers on both the right and left have been bamboozled big time. Exactly, man. I forget who it was that said it, but a lot of people have said it. The friggin' problem in society is not left versus right. It's top versus bottom. And don't just assume that us friggin' honky dudes are on the top for crying out loud. But no. It's top versus bottom. But what's going to be done about it, man? We keep using the top's products, man. This fucking asshole keeps getting our money. Because he's providing us a service that no one else is providing. Anyway, to execute the sale of the Washington Post, he established a limited liability company, Nash Holdings, to serve as a holding company through which he would own the newspaper. The sale closed on October 1st, 2013, and Nash Holdings took control. Well, Nash Holdings, also known as Jeff Bezos, who now owns the newspaper. In 2014 of March, Bezos made his first significant change at the Washington Post and lifted the online paywall for subscribers of a number of U.S. local newspapers in Texas, Hawaii, and Minnesota. Hello, Sith. So paywalls, man, I hate that shit, man. When I'm trying to click, even when I'm looking at recipes, I click on a link and there's a paywall. Please disable disable your ad block shit. But I paywalls. But otherwise, how are they going to make money? Nobody's buying physical newspapers anymore, and they got to make money somehow. Let's skip through some of this stuff. Through the early year of ownership of the Washington Post, Bezos was accused of having a potential conflict of interest with the newspaper. No shit. I mean, you're not going to have anybody with the Washington Post write an article shitting on Bezos. Anyway, Bezos and the newspaper's editorial board have dismissed the accusations that he unfairly controlled the newspaper's content, and Bezos maintains the paper's independence. I wouldn't know. I don't read newspapers. After a surge in online readership in 2016, the paper was profitable for the first time since Bezos made the purchase in 2016. Yeah. Wealth. We've already talked about his wealth. We're going to skip the wealth section. Let's get to the funny stuff about Bezos. Wealth. Okay. Let's take a look at all right. So yep. Where is it in the slideshow? Just a sec. Look at that. There's Bezos and his now ex-wife when they were in their early stages. Look at his fucking wife. Look at him. Look at his fucking wife now. All right. Okay. That billions of, well, she's hot now. Anyway, in 2019, Bezos' wealth was reduced by his divorce from his wife, Mackenzie Bezos. According to Forbes, had the Washington state common law applied to their divorce without a prenuptial agreement, Bezos' wealth could have been equitably divided with his ex-wife. However, she eventually received 25% of Bezos' Amazon shares, valued at approximately $36 billion with a B dollars, making her the third richest woman in the world. Now, she did meet this guy before he founded Amazon, And you're going to have the feminists out there saying, well, you have people like me and Freeman, and I'm sure Nectar, saying, what the fuck did she do to deserve 35 or $36 billion? Well, you're going to have the feminists of the world saying she provided support. So basically, Mackenzie there, Bezos was like, I don't know. And Mackenzie was like, you can do it, Jeff. Oh my God. Anyway, Bezos retained his interest in the Washington Post and Blue Origin, as well as voting control of the shares received by his ex-wife. So even though he gave her $36 billion, she was no longer able to vote on Amazon affairs. And I remember looking on Twitter. Last I checked, this was a while ago, Jeff Bezos only follows one person on Twitter, and it's his ex-wife. And I don't even think she follows him. In June 2019, yes, I'm educating. The wife is hot as a cup of water. Well, here she's ugly, but there, I think here, thanks to all that money, I think she's definitely tasty looking. Like, look at her right there. She's not bad. I like the little dimples. Even there. That horny goatweed tease, man. Yeah. June 2019, we're almost done with Bezos. In June 2019, Bezos purchased 3 adjoining apartments overlooking Madison Square Park in Manhattan, including a penthouse for a combined total of $80 million, making this one of the most expensive real estate purchases within the city of New York in 2019. Why? Who needs all these? Who needs mansions? Ugh. I don't get it. Ugh. And in February 2020, Bezos purchased the Warner estate from David Geffen for $165 million. Like, you have to pay taxes on this shit. Plastic surgery still looks good. It worked. I mean, who knows how she looks naked? She probably looks hideous naked. I mean, there's a lot of women out there who looks 1,000 times better clothed than naked. I mean, look at her there. Good God. So in February 2020, Bezos purchased the Warner estate from David Geffen for $165 million, a record price paid for a residence in the Los Angeles area. The previous record high price of $150 million was paid by Lachlan Murdoch. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it was reported that Bezos' fortune had grown by $24 billion, citing a surge in demand from households on lockdown shopping on Amazon. So he benefited from that shit because of people like you and me. Personal life in 1992, Bezos was working for D.E. Shaw in Manhattan, where he met his lovely ex-wife. Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. Move. There, that lovely ex-wife, Mackenzie Tuttle, who was a novelist. And she was a research associate at the firm, so he met her at the place he was working at. Never dated a coworker. $36 billion fucking dollars. Holy shit. The couple married a year later, so they married in 1993. Bezos created Amazon later. In 1994, they moved across the country to Seattle, Washington, where Bezos founded Amazon. Bezos and his now ex-wife Mackenzie are the parents of 4 children. God, what an inheritance. 3 sons and 1 daughter adopted from China. And as we finish up Bezos, on January 9, 2019, Bezos and Mackenzie announced on Twitter their intent to divorce after a long period of separation. So in other words, they weren't spending time together. So Mackenzie, she was probably the one who, triggered it and was like, I encouraged you. I said, you can do it, honey. $36 billion, please. Well, she was probably trying to get half of it, but the laws wouldn't let her. 36 billion. Anyway, on April 4th, 2019, the divorce was finalized, with Bezos keeping 75% of the couple's Amazon stock and Mackenzie getting the remaining 25%, valued at $35.6 million in Amazon stock. However, Bezos would keep all of the couple's voting rights. And that is the end of that shit. But now, Who's ever seen the inside of one of these Amazon fulfillment centers? We're gonna take a look at an 11-minute video of this shit. This is insane, crazy, friggin' holy crap shit. Amazon 2012 was very small. Oh yeah, no shit. I talked about it earlier. I ordered from Amazon in like 1998. Never heard of them. And ordered a wrestling DVD, and it got to my place in 3 days. I was blown away by how fast it was. All right, let's take a look at this Amazon Fulfillment Center tour with AWS. Let's check it out.
Ever wonder how Amazon gets your packages to you so quickly? It's done with a symphony of machine learning, automation, and our amazing associates. Join us as we see that in action in an Amazon fulfillment center.
Look at this. Look at this.
Welcome to an Amazon Robotics sortable fulfillment center. This FC is one of more than 50 worldwide, where robots work alongside our amazing employees. Let's go inside.
Our amazing employees.
At Amazon, we're customer obsessed. We're also obsessed with the safety of our employees. In April of 2020,
follow the line.
Enhancing its temperature screening process by implementing thermal camera systems throughout multiple business lines in North America. Now that our temperature...
Do you see that? Face recognition for the employees. God, it's like a fucking prison. And they got to follow this yellow line on the floor?
...is not detected as high, we're free to continue the tour. Today, we're going to follow the path of products from where they're received, stowed, then picked, packed, and put on a truck for distribution.
Good
The
God.
inbound process starts with forecasting and ordering before anything arrives to the FC. Powered by AWS, Amazon's forecasting engine is used for over 400 million products daily. Let's go to the receiving area. As you'll see, we put a lot of energy into our logistics. It's a symphony of people, AWS, software, and other high-tech components.
Yeah, Nectar says treating people like slave robots. Exactly, man. You see that shit on the floor? The lines? That reminds me of the movie Wall-E where the robots follow the friggin' road and shit. Bloody hell. Carly Ellison, hello, says Amazon is a great advancement, but some people are resentful because they are losers. Yeah, man, I wish I had Jeff Bezos' money.
The result is a coordination between our great employees and the finely honed computer systems we've evolved for more than 20 years. Our employees are the heart and soul of our operation. Some are military veterans, some are active members of the community, some are employees that work here with their loved ones. They're all amazing.
With their loved ones. Soon everybody's going to be working for Amazon. Holy shit.
Trailers full of vendor and small and medium business seller items.
Look at all the
arrive
trucks.
At these bay doors by appointment. Employees unload the trailers and begin the process of staging items located at their receiving work.
Carly says, if you don't want to work, start your own company. Agreed, man. As I've said through this thing, Bezos started small. He's not stupid, man. He went to Princeton. He worked his way up. You got to step on people in order to be successful sometimes. Deal with it.
Stations. This FC carries millions of items of inventory, and using the service known as Amazon Aurora, we manage our inventory transactions and other relational database needs. At this station, you can see how our inbound associate receives a product and how those products are stowed in our inventory.
Okay, so I'm pausing it. Look at these machines that are rolling around. Because I recently got into the stock market and shit, I thought maybe, hey, you know, what's the company that makes these little robots that travel around in the Amazon factories? Maybe I'll invest in them. I looked it up. You know who owns the company that makes these little robots going along the floor? Fucking Amazon. So they're investing in themselves. So the dude, what a strategy, man. Damn.
Amazon robotic drive units are activated when an associate logs into their workstation to perform their task. Storage pods arrive facing the correct side to stow items into inventory. Every time an associate touches a product, they scan a unique barcode for that item, which we call the Amazon Standard Identification Number, or ASIN. That's stored in our inventory system so we know what the quantity and location of that item is at any given time. To manage our inventory history, we use Amazon Neptune, a fast, reliable, fully managed graph database service from AWS. Now, you might expect that we'd organize this in a way where similar items are stowed together. For example, all electronics would be stored in the same section.
Yeah.
However, at Amazon, we've found that it's more efficient to stow products using a randomized method. That's
Crazy.
why you'll see a variety of items in each inventory bin.
Yeah, you'll see the dildos with the cat food. It's fucking crazy. But it works.
Once that process has been completed, a physical and digital match is created in our systems. So just a few seconds after an item is stowed, you can order it on Amazon.com. Looking at a station next door, we see a great example of computer vision helping with automation. When an associate scans an item, you'll see magenta lights over some of the bins in the pod. This lets the associate know not to place that item in those locations, as artificial intelligence-driven logic has determined that the bin is full, that placing an item there may negatively impact the pod's overall weight distribution, or that a visually similar item is there and may cause confusion later when an associate needs to pick the item. The associate can then place the item in any of the other bins. But computer vision doesn't stop there. It will also detect what bin the associate reached into and knows where that item is placed. As one
You see, it's random. I would have thought it was maybe alphabetical or in the same department, but this is just random shit. Everybody get along, damn it.
final step, it will take a picture of the pod and use image recognition to count the number of items in the bin, making sure the count matches what is recorded in our tracking systems. When the machine learning model has low confidence, it sends images to people to classify and train more ground truth data for our machine learning model, which operates in Amazon SageMaker and Amazon SageMaker Ground Truth from AWS. This allows us to perform ongoing inventory reconciliation, avoiding the scheduled inventory counts that are often done at least once a year at other organizations. Now, what's up with those robots we see moving the pods around? There are
I've heard stories of people actually getting run over by these fucking things in these warehouses.
Associates fulfill customer orders daily. Amazon Robotics operate in dedicated fenced-off areas within the FC, which account for about 65% of the facility's total square footage. The drive units travel to various locations
Started in his garage
to pick up mobile shelves of product and deliver them to employees who are working at ergonomic workstations. To navigate, they read 2D barcodes.
See these little things? Amazon makes these little things that go on the floor
in real time using our own created robotic.
So instead of outsourcing, they're just
our Amazon Robotics
investing in themselves. What you got to do, man?
100 services to support operations and uses AWS extensively in the Amazon fulfillment centers. Only specially trained individuals wearing custom safety equipment are
Look at this guy. He looks like he's going into war.
this area, but on our virtual tour, we're allowed to walk through this restricted area. Each sortable FC has over 1 million unique items, helping us with our goal to provide Earth's largest selection. You may be thinking, okay, robots are great, but I just ordered an item. How's it picked? To answer that, let's go to a pick station. Here we see a similar layout as our stow station. Once you hit the buy button on Amazon.com, our systems will cue the robots to find the inventory pod with the item you ordered. Once that item has been identified, the robot will bring it to our associate.
I mean, as much as we want to shit on Bezos and the evilness of wealth and all that shit, you can't deny that this is not fucking amazing. This is, holy shit, impressive.
A screen at the associate station will show them a picture and quantity of the item they need to pick. The same visual bin inspection system is used as during stow, except this time, instead of lighting up bins where items should not be placed, the system lights up in a white light where that item is. The associate identifies and grabs the item, placing it in the yellow tote signified by the green light, and pushes the button, acknowledging that the item was placed there. When the system detects that the tote is full, the light flashes, and the associate pushes the full tote back to a series of conveyors and replaces it with a new one that was automatically brought to their station. At this stage, associates are picking items for different customers in batches. The two types of picking processes we focus on are single item orders and multiple item orders. The single item orders contain only one item per customer order. We fill up a yellow tote full of single item orders weighing up to 25 pounds.
Look at this.
Single item order yellow totes will then be routed to the singles pack lines for packaging. The multiple item orders contain more than one item per order. If your multiple item order of 6 items are all in this building, then it's possible that your order is being picked up by up to 6 different people picking items from 6 different robots, which all need to be brought together for your single shipment. Your items will be placed in...
Well, I've heard that too, Sith. I've heard that people pissing in their pants at Amazon. So obviously this is an Amazon video. This isn't going to show all the bad shit that goes on. But I've heard people pissing in their pants because they can't take breaks. It's very strict. So yeah, I mean, eventually we're all going to be working for this place. So you better just talk nicely.
any available yellow tote.
God bless Bezos.
And routed to our multiple item order assembly stations. It's at that point that we will read in your individual items into one customer order. Then, once all of your items are together, it's packing time. To help improve efficiency and also reduce environmental impact of the packaging, the size of box or envelope is automatically selected by a machine learning algorithm. Even the correct length of tape is determined by machine learning
Look at this.
and automatically dispensed. If needed, protective packaging materials are added.
I've heard people get constant paper cuts here too on the boxes, but look at this one's wearing gloves, probably made of rubber.
A barcode is placed on the package. It's sealed up, and away we go.
Right.
That barcode will be important for the next stage that we call SLAM. But
Slam.
what if I order 2 items and those items are in 2 different FCs?
That's what I've
Do I
wondered.
get 1 box or 2? The answer is, it depends. Our first priority is to get you the item at the date and time that we promised when you placed the order. The second priority is to do that at the lowest cost possible and with the lowest environmental impact so we can continue to pass on lower prices to you.
Lowest environmental
With those
product.
two things
Yeah.
in mind, we use machine
many
learning
boxes
to
get
figure
sent
out if
out a
it's
day?
optimal to ship to you from each FC in 2 different packages, or ship an item from one FC to the other, combine them there, and ship to you in a single package. You're now seeing our SLAM line in process. SLAM is an acronym which stands for Scan,
And Amazon probably builds this shit too.
Label, Apply, and Manifest. The technology here scans that barcoded sticker placed on the package and pack, and immediately knows to print the correct shipping label on the package. This is the first time your name and address are placed on the package. So how do we know which carrier to use? That's also determined by machine learning.
Well, I like that, man. It replaces your name and shit afterwards, so I wonder if that means, like, if I were to order some lube and a fucking vibrator or some embarrassing shit, the human workers wouldn't know because the box is all... Yeah, shut up.
In the space of a few seconds, an algorithm is run to
Well,
determine
of course it's hiding a lot, Freeman. They're not going to go over the bad shit.
the optimal delivery carrier to get you the package on time and at the lowest cost possible. There are also quality control measures in place here. Following this,
What do you mean
the box
propaganda?
is
They
weighed
called their
and the weight
employees
is checked
amazing.
against the item's known weight. If the weight is off, the order will be routed to a special location. From there, an associate will open the package and take the applicable action. We're now entering the final stages. After passing all of those quality control
Look
measures,
at
the
this.
package is routed onto another
Started
series
from
of
a
conveyors
garage.
to a location where the label is
A
scanned.
bookstore.
The conveyors then automatically send each package down the correct chute, where it will be packaged on a semi-trailer for shipment to another FC, or a sortation center for final delivery to you. There are approximately 17.5 miles of conveyor belts in this FC. In order to run reliably, every single day, they're monitored via AWS IoT services.
See, all this is
AWS
before it goes to
IoT
an assortment
Greengrass
center
helps here
and
by
then sent
allowing
to you.
devices to act locally on the data they generate while still taking advantage of the cloud. Events, in particular from the machinery, are sent to Lambda functions in AWS that trigger step functions. These workflows then coordinate RME operations to maintain the equipment, perform inspections, replace faulty motors and belts, and other types of activities. We even collaborate with some of our automation suppliers using AWS ML models to predict equipment failures and address issues before they arise.
Good God.
Thank you for visiting our Amazon Sortable Robotics Fulfillment Center. We hope you enjoyed our virtual tour.
All right. So anyway, that was Jeff Bezos. Holy shit. Man. From a bookstore, an online bookstore in his freaking garage to that. Crazy. Prime Day 24. Oh yeah, that's right, man. Prime Day. I haven't ordered from Amazon in a while, though. I mean, I can't think of it. Well, the next thing I'd like is a longer desk, but it's nothing that I absolutely need. All right. So now we've seen smart rich people. I don't care what anybody says. Jeff Bezos, as evil as he may come across as, because he's got all the cash. We let him get there. The dude is smart. He's fucking kicked ass in school. He made that little alarm system thing to keep his idiot siblings out of his room. Now, we're going to take a look at holy rich people. Yeah, baby. People who preach the word of the Lord and make money off of it. So I can close this Amazon window now. All right. So now we're going to take a look at the 10 richest pastors in America. The business of religion for some can be a very profitable profession to enter. It might be argued that the reason why ministers are more likely to make money today is because they utilize more money making opportunities such as writing books, producing movies, and speaking engagements. Some of which make enough to have private planes, refurbished arenas as churches, and flourishing press houses. There will be many who will say that these pastors shouldn't be making this much money. No shit. But before you judge, keep in mind that the average yearly household salary in the Democratic Republic of Congo in Africa yearly is $422. So all those Congo people could be saying the same about you, Freeman, Nectar, Sith. This article is not to bash anybody. It is written to inspire you to dream bigger. If you are not interested in making money, then that is your choice. But here are men and women who aspire others while achieving their dreams. The 10 richest, we're going to get to the pictures here, pastors in America. And we're going to start with number 10. This is Sister Joyce Meyer. Is the organ music too loud? Let me know. Just lower it a little. Anyway, Sister Joyce Meyer is number 10. Joyce Meyer is an American Bible teacher, writer, and motivational speaker. She's also known as Pauline Joyce Hutchinson, which was created. So she was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and she was sexually abused as a child. She became a born-again Christian when she was in elementary school and became more and more focused on her faith as her home life worsened. Her Bible study classes became so popular that eventually branched out into broadcasting them on the radio. And in 1985, she performed her own ministry, Life in the Term, and her radio show began to air throughout the Midwest. She began airing a weekly television show on WGN-TV and BET. That's right, the Black Channel. Shut up. Called Enjoying Everyday Life in 1995. She's become an immensely popular public speaker and journeys from engagement to engagement in her private jet. She was number 17 on Time Magazine's list of top 25 most influential evangelicals in 2005. And the Lord has blessed Joyce Meyer with a net worth of $25 million. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. I saw Joyce Meyer live when she came to Toronto some years back with my ex. And the thing about her little rallies is that the first 2 hours or so are singing. And my ex knew about this beforehand. So she said, we're going to go 2 hours late so then we can hear Joyce Meyer. And that's what we did. And we got there 2 hours after everything started. And they were still singing. Anyway, Joyce Meyer has been blessed by the Lord. Hallelujah. $25 million. Preaching the word of God. What does it say? Freeman would probably know better than I do. Jesus said that it'll be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than it will be for a rich person to get into heaven. Just saying. We next move on to number 9. To none other than this man. His name is Rick Warren. Some of you may have heard of Rick Warren. Rick Warren founded Saddleback Church in Lake Forest, California. And it is now the country's 8th largest church. Warren is the author of a handful of books, including The Purpose-Driven Church and The Purpose-Driven Life, which I have read because my ex made me. Warren believes in a 5-point plan to bring global harmony to earth. And he calls it his peace plan. It calls for planting churches, equipping servant leaders, assisting the poor, caring for the sick, and education. He and his wife aim to live on 10% of their income and donate the rest to charity. And Rick Warren, God bless him, is valued at a holy $25 million. $25 million, because I can just imagine the Lord Jesus in today's world with his jets and his... Oh my God! $25 million. So he's tied with Sister Meyer. Number 8. A lot of you may have heard of this man as well. This is Creflo Dollar. Creflo Dollar brought in his net worth through his ministries. He has assembled a multi-million-dollar ministry to the message that it is the will of God for you to prosper in every way. Hallelujah. Creflo Dollar has, in addition, the publisher of Change Magazine, a quarterly international publication with nearly 100,000 subscribers, and the Max, a bi-monthly resource newsletter for ministries and ministry leaders. His book includes the Understanding God's Purpose and for the Anointing, Claim Your Success Today, and 8 Steps to Making the Life You Want. He's well known for his controversial teachings of prosperity prosperity theology. He is being criticized for his lavish lifestyle as he owns 2, God bless it, Rolls Royces. God has also blessed him with a private jet and a $1 million home in Atlanta and a $2.5 million residence in Manhattan. In 2007, U.S. Senator Charles Grassley named Creflo Dollar and other evangelists in a financial investigation, mentioning lavish lifestyles and questioning their use of cash gathered from churchgoers and viewers. Creflo Dollar has denied any wrongdoing, and a recent controversy with him is that he was busted. I think he beat the shit out of his wife and or kid, and he was arrested for it. But that doesn't mean anything, because the Lord has blessed Creflo Dollar with a net worth of $27 million. 27 million blessed dollars. Hallelujah. Oh my God. Number 7. Some of you may have heard of this guy. This is Joel Osteen, or Osteen. Joel Osteen is an author, televangelist, and pastor of Lakewood Church in Houston, Texas. He took over his father's role as a pastor and televangelist despite having very little formal religious training in 1999. So he didn't really know what the fuck he was doing. Since then, the Lakewood Church broadcast has grown exponentially and can be seen in 100 different countries. And thanks to this inheritance of his father's church, Joel Osteen is number 7 on our list with a net worth of $40 million. Good Lord. Praise be to this guy. But we ain't done yet. Number 6. This is another guy I saw live when he came to Toronto. This is Benny Hinn. My ex and I saw this guy in Toronto. Israeli televangelist Benny Hinn is best known for his regular miracle crusades, revival meetings / faith healing summits that are usually held in large stadiums in major cities, which are later broadcast worldwide on his television program, This Is Your Day. And as I said, my ex and I went to see him some years back when he came to Toronto. He appeared for a couple nights at the Air Canada Centre. My ex said it was free to get in. My ex and I, we were in like the lower tier level, but that's where we chose to sit, so like in the lower bowls. And on the floor, before we, no, let's just say it right now, okay? Benny Hinn has been blessed with a net worth of $42 million. This rally that my ex and I went to for Benny, okay? You had the main seats. It wasn't full, the Air Canada Centre. And on the floor, ringside if you will, were a bunch of seats. At the very back of the floor section were a bunch of sick people and disabled people. So when Benny Hinn, after he did his preachers, the Raptors, it's now called the Scotiabank Arena, I think. And at the end of this rally, after Benny Hinn was done, yay! I just want to say this. I'm not ripping on, maybe these people are legit, I don't know. The bottom line is they don't seem to be living the lifestyle that the Lord Jesus would live, just saying. So after Benny Hinn was done his rally, that was when he started taking people, having them come up the stage so he can do that shit, and they'd knock down and they'd go, ah! So during this, you had the people in the back on the floor, and there was one person on a hospital, on a gurney, with one of those tube things, and just basically this person couldn't move or nothing. So Benny Hinn he's going on, slapping people in the head. Meanwhile, this person in this hospital bed at the back on the floor has a bunch of family and friend, I guess, around them, encouraging this person to stand up and walk. And then there were people around applauding, going, you can do it, go, go. And I'm watching this thing, and I'm thinking, this is wrong. And no, the person did not get up and walk. Just say it. And it also, apparently, it's been alleged that Benny Hinn has said that the Lord Jesus himself will appear on stage with him at one of these rallies. Look it up. I don't know if it's true, but I heard that he did say that. Benny Hinn is worth $42 million. Move on to number 5. Number 5 is one that maybe some of you may know because he was in the news last year or something. I know of him because he is my ex's and her family's favorite pastor. This is Jesse Duplantis. Jesse Duplantis uses a lot of look at that fucking shit. We're going to get to that. Jesse Duplantis uses a lot of comedy in his sermons. He is very funny. Anyway, Jesse Duplantis is a prosperity gospel preacher from the Christian evangelical charismatic tradition based in New Orleans, Louisiana, U.S., and the founder of Jesse Duplantis Ministries, which maintains an international headquarters in America and branches in the United Kingdom and Australia. In 1997, he and his wife, Kathy Duplantis, founded the Covenant Church, a local outreach of JDM on the international headquarters property of Destrehan, Louisiana. Get along, people. Just saying, man, if anybody chooses to, I've said it before, people choose to argue in here, there's no mods. I just let it go. So Jesse Duplantis, check out that slate right there. In the last couple years ago or something, Jesse Duplantis called on his followers to donate from their own pocket $54 million so he can get another private jet because he said the Lord wanted him to have another private jet. Why didn't he just fork over the money for himself? Well, that's because Jesse Duplantis has only been blessed with $50 million in net worth. So he needs an extra $4 million so he can get that plane. Jesse Duplantis worth $50 million to preach the word of God. Whew. All right, Jesse. Number 4. A lot of people have probably heard of this guy. He's a long timer. This is Pat Robertson. Pat Robertson launched the Christian Broadcasting Network in Virginia, and the network is now broadcast in 180 countries. In the late 80s, he ran for president, but he was unsuccessful. He runs a large number of companies, including the Christian Coalition, which is a Christian right organization that exists to raise money and public support for conservative political candidates. Pat Robertson has been blessed by the Lord and has a net worth of $100 million. $100 million. Look at everybody fighting. Come on, people, get along. We're talking about the Lord and money. $100 million. Pat Robertson. And he uses money to fund political candidates. All right. Moving on to number 3. Wonder if anybody knows who number 1 is and how much number 1 is worth. Anyway, number 3. This is David Oyedepo. He looks like Teddy Long from the wrestling world. He does. Anyway, David Oyedepo is a Nigerian pastor. I guess Nigeria is a part of the United States because this is supposed to be the wealthiest pastors in America. Anyway, having enjoyed a reputation as the richest pastor in Nigeria, David Oyedepo is the founder and presiding bishop of Living Faith Church Worldwide, aka Winners Chapel, and its affiliated international churches known as Winners Chapel International. David Oyedepo has a net worth of a measly $150 million. $150 million. Peter Popoff? Oh man, I remember that dude. That dude was exposed big time. You see that video, Mountain MGTOW? Of how Popoff had that shit in his ear and his wife was friggin' sending him messages and oh my god. That dude. I remember seeing that dude on the infomercials with his anointing thing. You know, Colin, you can get this little thing with anointing holy water or whatever it was. He said, sprinkle it on your wallet and you'll get money. That guy was a scumbag. Moving on to number 2. This is Bishop T.D. Jakes, which some may recognize. Bishop Jakes lives in a $1.7 million mansion. This guy preaches the word of Jesus and he lives in a $1.7 million mansion because God wanted it that way. He's been called America's best preacher and has been featured on the cover of Time magazine. He is a writer, preacher, and movie producer. Thomas Dexter T.D. Jakes Sr. is the bishop / chief pastor of the Potter's House, a non-denominational American megachurch with 30,000 members located in Dallas, Texas. Hallelujah. Bishop Jakes is also worth $150 million. Obviously, my teachings of the Lord is not helping people in the chat, but hey, do whatever you want. Because I believe in free speech. Finally, number 1. So who thinks they know who is number 1, the wealthy, the richest pastor in America? Who could it be? Who could it be? Get out of here, Bishop. Just a sec. I'm fucking up here. Get the picture off. Bishop. Well, that's not Bishop. That's Oyedepo. There we go. All right. Okay, so people are busy. Okay, having a very what's the word I'm looking for? Chat in the chat. Good. All right. Number 1 on our list, the richest pastor in America. A lot of you may have heard of him. This is Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland Ministries is his ministry. His ministry's 1,500-acre campus is a half-hour drive from Fort Worth and includes a church, a private airstrip, a hangar for the ministry's $17.5 million jet and other aircraft, and a $6 million church-owned lakefront mansion. So he doesn't own it. The church owns the $6 million mansion. How much could this guy possibly be worth? Kenneth Copeland's net worth, praise the Lord forever and a day, $760 million. That is, let's see, everyone else before him. So 150 million, that's 300 million, 400 million, 450 million, 492 million, 532 million, 500 and, let's say 560 million, 585 million. Kenneth Copeland, his net worth is more than all 9 previous on this list combined. $760 million as people in the chat argue about other stuff when they should be arguing about why they don't have $760 million in the bank. Anyway, that was the wealthiest pastors, and finally we're going to move on to stupid rich people. Now, as I said, not all these people were stupid. Some of them were. Others were murdered. We'll get to it. Let's, there we go. Get rid of the organ music. Exactly. $760 million. $760 million. We now move on. Let's get the dirt music going. We now move on to the 23 lottery winners who lost millions. Now, a lot of people think that they'd be able to handle being a lottery winner, but you always hear stories that lottery winners just piss their money away. And here are some stories of 20, well, not all of them did. Anyway, most people dream about winning the Mega Millions or Powerball. I'm one of them. But they should be careful what they wish for. It's not uncommon for lottery winners to wind up with nothing but wrecked friendships, destroyed marriages, and poverty and worse. Should I turn down the derp real quick? It's kind of distracting my ass. Yeah, derpy-de-derp. Winning the lottery seems like a dream come true until the money brings greedy and resentful friends and relatives, con artists, and charity cases out of the woodwork. It's one thing I think that if I ever make it big, I'm going to have some family members who are going to friggin' Mackenzie Bezos the shit out of my ass. Okay, let's start. This is Jack Whitaker. In 2002, Jack Whitaker won $314 million Powerball jackpot. 314.9. And at the time, it was the biggest lottery prize in history. The West Virginia construction worker, known for his outsized cowboy hats and even bigger personality, remains one of the most extreme cautionary tales about the lottery's power to ruin lives. Whitaker reveled in the ability to give handouts, which he did until the money ran out, donating stacks of cash to churches, diner waitresses, family members, strangers, and his local strip club. So Jack Whitaker, he pissed away $314 million because he just gave it away like a fucking idiot. Well, let's move on. Look at these two fucking idiots. This is Laura and Roger Griffiths. Laura and Roger Griffiths' marriage ended in divorce Less than a decade after the British couple won a $2.5 million jackpot. So it's not exactly 314, but 2.19 million. Roger, the idiot with his hands up, chased his rock star dreams and spent big bucks for his band to release an album. Laura, his idiot wife, got a taste for the high life as the couple paid for exotic cars, an expensive house, designer clothes and accessories, and a pricey private school for their daughter. They dumped hundreds of thousands of dollars into opening a salon, where Laura was later forced to work as an employee just to make ends meet. So they opened this salon, but because they suck with their money, the dumb idiot with the champagne bottle went from owner to employee at her own salon. And in the end, the couple was left with less than $10. $10. Let's move on. This is David Lee Edwards. David Lee Edwards is another dumbass. 5 years after Kentucky resident David Lee Edwards won a $27 million jackpot. 5 years after this, he was penniless and living in a storage shed with his wife. The couple squandered the fortune on the common goodies that sank so many lucky winners. They bought dozens of high-end cars, mansions, and a plane. They blew through $3 million in the first 3 months. By the end of the first year, $12 million was in the wind, so they spent $12 million in a year. By 2006, the couple had spiraled into drug addiction, and just 12 years after the wind changed the course of his life, David Lee Edwards died alone and broke in a hospice care at the age of 58. $27 million. 5 years later, nothing. Well done, David. Moving on. This man-tit fucking moron is Mickey Carroll. Mickey Carroll and his man-tits were only 19 years old when he won a British jackpot that sent him into early adulthood with the equivalent of $11.8 million. The media dubbed him the Lotto Lout, as the young winner tore through his newfound fortune with astonishing speed. Much of it went to drug-fueled partying, with the rest wasted on jewelry, cars, and other materialistic expenses. And as of 2016, he was earning a few $100s a week, working in a slaughterhouse. $11.8 million and man tits spent it all. Oh my God. Way to go, Mickey. Next. This retard is Callie Rogers.
Maybe she's retarded.
Well, maybe she is. Let's find out. Callie Rogers was another lucky Brit who cashed in big at a very young age, but she was even greener and less prepared to manage her money than Mickey Man-Tits Carroll was. When Rogers won the equivalent of $2.3 million in 2003, she was only 16 years old. So I guess over in the UK, you can be 16 to play the lottery. Here, I think in Canada, you have to be 19, I think, maybe 18. Anyway, a decade later, in 2013, this idiot had only $2,500 left in the bank. She torched through the winnings due to drugs, and she dropped about $300,000 on cocaine alone, as well as plastic surgery, high-end clothing, gifts, and partying. Way to go, moron. Next up, this is Curtis Sharp. Curtis Sharp won $5 million playing the lottery in New York in 1982. Unfortunately, his story went from rags to riches and back to rags. Sharp's fortune would disappear too quickly due to multiple, keyword being multiple, failed marriages, gobbling up as much of his newfound wealth as did visits to the casino and reckless spending and giving. Next is someone that we have no picture for. So let's take Curtis down. Next is Evelyn Adams, no picture. Evelyn Adams made lottery history when she won 2 multi-million-dollar New Jersey prizes in 1985 and 1986. So talk about luck. The total haul was $5.4 million. Like so many other lottery lucky winners, however, Adams couldn't get out of her own way. She gambled much of the money away, gave too many gifts to family and members, spent too much, and made bad investments. According to Forbes, Adams blew it all and moved into a trailer. This is William Post. Yep. William Bud Post was broke when he died in 2006 despite winning $16.2 million in the Pennsylvania lottery in 1988. It didn't last long. Just 1 year after Post won $16 million, he was down to $1 million, he was $1 million in debt. So in 1 year, he spent more than he had. His ex-girlfriend sued him for part of his winnings, and his brother reportedly hired a hitman to kill him, according to Forbes. The real problem, however, was his lavish spending. He bought houses, boats, cars, and a twin-engine plane that he wasn't even licensed to fly. Look at his derp fucking face. All right. This ass clown is Lisa Arcand. Massachusetts resident Lisa Arcand won a cool $1 million when she hit the lottery in 2004. And it was all gone in less than 4 years. Seriously, man, come on, I can't imagine. Let's stop for a bit. I suck at I've said it before. I suck at spending money. So I can't imagine this happening to me, but I'm sure this idiot and everyone before it said the same. Anyway, she won $1 million in 2004, and it was all gone in less than 4 years. She bought a furnished house and several vacations, because women love their vacations. But the biggest hit came in the form of a failed investment. Arcand opened a restaurant in her hometown of Lawrence, which she was forced to close within a few years. Restaurants aren't easy to friggin' maintain. Even Gordon Ramsay had to close one of his restaurants because he took a gamble on its location and it didn't work. Anyway, that was Lisa Arcand. Thank you. Goodbye. This guy is named Alex Toth. Alex Toth died broke in 2008 at the age of 60. He checked into a mental institution after splitting with his wife and getting charged with tax fraud by the IRS. All of this happened after the Florida resident won $13 million in the lottery. He chose to receive his winnings in annual installments, which were paid in the ominous amounts of $666,666 each. And the dumbass squandered it all on an excessive lifestyle. Yes, Brewster's Millions is a great movie, man. I love that movie. Can you spend $30 million in 30 days and have nothing to show for it? Following certain rules, that is an awesome movie. I recommend Brewster's Millions. Richard Pryor, John Candy. Watch that movie. Continuing. This ass wagon is Gerald Muswagon. Gerald, he's a Canadian. Canadian Gerald Muswagon bought a $2 lottery ticket that made him an instant millionaire in 2011. He won a $10 million jackpot, but blew through it in just a few short years. He bought a house. Look at his fucking idiot face. He bought a house that doubled as a nightly party spot, hosting his ever-growing legion of hangers-on. Because that's what happens when you come into money. Suddenly you have a lot of best friends. He also blew the cash on cars, partying, and gifts while racking up a string of legal entanglements, according to the Globe and Mail. And by the end, he was doing manual labor on a farm to support his girlfriend and 6 young children. 7 years after his big win, he hanged himself in his parents' garage. Gerald Asswagon. Rest in peace, dumbass. This toolbox is Janite Lee. South Korean immigrant let's call her Janet. Janet Lee was working at a wig shop when she won $18 million in the Illinois lottery in 1993. 8 years later, she filed for bankruptcy and had less than $700 in the bank and a $2.5 million debt. Look at her with Bill, man. Her donations were well-intentioned, but she simply gave too much. After donating huge sums to educational, political, and social causes, she sold her rights to future annual payments in exchange for a lump sum, according to Time. But even that wasn't enough to keep her out of bankruptcy court. So she became a millionaire. Well, she worked in a wig shop, became a millionaire by winning $18 million, and decided to use that to smooze with politicians. And she lost it all because she's a fucking moron. This is Marva Wilson. Marva Wilson, swindlers, grifters, and con artists see lottery winners as prey. A fact few people know better than Marva Wilson. The great-grandmother won $2 million in the Missouri lottery in 2008 and quickly became the target of a scammer named Freya Pearson. So this isn't necessarily her fault. She's old, and old people tend to be pretty friggin' easy targets for scammers. Anyway, Pearson, the scammer, smooth-talked her way into Wilson's life and bank accounts under the guise of helping her file a lien, L-I-E-N, handling her taxes and establishing a nonprofit in her name. Pearson stole and spent all of Wilson's winnings. Pearson was eventually sentenced to 5 years in prison. So this woman got swindled by this Freya Pearson idiot who told Marva here that she was going to do her taxes and open up a nonprofit charity in her name, and she didn't. She just pocketed the money, and she spent 5 years in prison. What you gonna do? This is Willie Hurt. Willie Hurt won a $3.1 million Michigan Super Lotto jackpot in 1989. This, unfortunately, was during the height of the crack epidemic, and Hurt was deeply entangled in the mayhem. His winnings became fuel for a raging rock cocaine addiction. By 1991, so 2 years later, he was broke and going through a divorce. He was also charged, hence the mugshot. He was charged with murdering a woman while on a multi-day drug and alcohol bender. Willie Hunt. Next. All right. This is the woman. This is Ibby Roncaioli. We'll just call her Ibby. One of the more bizarre and tragic stories of lost lottery fortune is the tale of Ibby Roncaioli, a Canadian woman who won $5 million lottery jackpot in 1991. She died in 2003. 5 years later, her husband, Dr. Joseph Ron Ravioli, was convicted of poisoning her. Ibby, the winner, had squandered not only the lottery fortune, but also the hefty salary her gynecologist husband earned. So she won the lottery, pissed it away, and then pissed his money away, and then he was later convicted of poisoning her. Authorities believe that the doctor hatched his plans when he discovered his wife's double life, which authorities allege included alcoholism and reckless gambling. Spend my money, bitch. Have a drink. Oh my God. This is Uruj Khan. Ibby, who we saw earlier, isn't the only lotto winner whose life ended with a lethal dose of poison. Chicago businessman Uruj Khan died suddenly at the age of 46, just a few weeks after he won $1 million in 2012. He hadn't even received his money yet, according to the Chicago Tribune. His death was attributed to natural causes at first, but at the prodding of his family, a new test revealed he had been poisoned to death with cyanide. And as of 2017, his case remained unsolved. So he won the lottery and then died a few weeks later, and he didn't even get the money. It's like that Alanis Morissette song, Ironic. Isn't it ironic? You win the lottery and die the next day. Well, this guy died a few weeks later, didn't get any money. Sorry, Rouge, what you gonna do? Suzanne Mullins won a 4.3 Virginia lottery jackpot in 1993, which she agreed to split 3 ways with her husband and daughter. Strung out over 20 years, however, her share of the annual installments were less than $50,000 each. After paying for an uninsured relative's lengthy illness, she was forced to borrow money with her future payments as collateral and went deep into debt. Mullins later took advantage of a change in lottery rules that let her receive her future payments in lump sum, and she stopped making payments on the loan. In 2004, a judge ruled she owed $154,147 to the lender. Suzanne Mullins. Her heart was in the right place. And the end. Oh boy. This piece of shit is Denise Rossi. Look at her piece of shit face. Why is she a piece of shit, Toronto guy? Well, here's why. In 1996, a man named Thomas Rossi was shocked to learn that his wife of 25 years wanted a divorce from what he believed was a happy marriage, and she wanted it fast. He later learned that 11 days before she demanded the divorce, she won $1.3 million in the California lottery, you vindictive piece of shit. He took her to court, and a judge ruled that this piece of shit, Denise Rossi, intentionally broke asset disclosure laws to hide the jackpot winnings, and the judge awarded every penny of Denise's winnings to Thomas Rossi. Yeah. That's right. So she won the lottery, didn't tell her man, wanted a divorce. He found out, judge gave all the money to him. So nice try, bitch. Evelyn Basehore. Her last name is spelled Basehore, so Basehore. Excuse me while I drink and cough real quick. Evelyn Basehor beat 1 in 15 trillion odds when she won $3.9 million and $1.4 million within 5 months. So 2 lotteries in 5 months. Playing the Pick 6 lottery in 1985. But because she's such a fucking idiot, she gambled much of it away and gave away even more. Unable to control her spending, it was all gone by the turn of the millennium. And in 2000, the destitute base whore moved into a brick New Jersey trailer park, according to Time magazine. No worries, Daniel. Yep. People with their money, man. This is Billy Bob Harrell Jr. In the entire sad story of lottery winners spending too much too fast, Billy Bob Harrell Jr. is in a class by himself. The Home Depot shelf stalker blew through $31 million in just 2 years after winning the Texas Lotto jackpot. He and his wife bought houses and cars for themselves and their family members. The deeply religious family also donated heavily to their church, as if the churches needed it, as we saw earlier, and individual members of the congregation. The money dried up, and the Harrell's marriage fell apart. Less than 2 years after his lottery dreams came true, Harrell locked himself in a room and shot himself to death. I know, Daniel, they are stupid, but a lot of people think they can handle being wealthy, but a lot of people can't. You might think you can handle it, but once you have all that cash, that's when the temptation sinks in. This is Sharon Tirabassi. Freeman's gonna love this one. This is another idiot. In 2004, Sharon Tirabassi won $10.5 million in a Lotto Super 7 jackpot in Canada, which is now known as Lotto Max. By 2013, she was riding a bus to the part-time job she worked to support her children because the winnings were all gone. Excessive spending and giving defined her life in the years after she won, assuming the money was bottomless. The vacation, cars, houses, and handouts piled up until there was nothing left. That's how it happens, Daniel. You get all that money, you think it'll last forever, you just buy and spend, it piles up, you got nothing left. That's how it happens, it's that simple. Way to go, Sharon. You're a dumbass. The dude! This is Keith Goff. In 2010, a 50-year-old former baker named Keith Goff drank himself to death. He was alone and penniless just 5 years after winning the equivalent of nearly $11 million with a lucky British lottery ticket. Soon after winning, his once stable life devolved into a blur of exotic cars, racehorses, and luxuries like stadium box seats. Con men swindled him out of nearly $11 million, and he split from his wife of 25 years just 2 years after he won. So that probably cost him some as well. She probably friggin' Mackenzie Bezos his ass, man. That's half of that shit is mine, you know? Where do I find these people? On the internet. 2 more left. No, 1 more left. This is Jeffrey Dampier. In 2016, the Oxygen Network told the story of Jeffrey Dampier, a lottery winner found murdered in his truck in 2005. In 1996, he won the Illinois lottery to the tune of $20 million. He invested in a popcorn business and gave millions to friends and family members. But a woman named Victoria Jackson wanted it all after he decided to cut her off. She was the sister of Dampier's wife, so it was his sister-in-law. But the two had a secret affair that lasted for years. She and her new boyfriend lured Dampier to a meeting and murdered him. And that is stupid / unfortunate wealthy people. All right, well, let's put on some music. So that was that. So that's the Toronto Guy Hangout. Yay! Let's put on let's put on the organ music just so we have some music in the background. There we go. And let's get rid of Dampier. Here we go. And let's put that up. Right on. So that's that. We all think that we can handle being rich, man. I'm sure it's not that easy. Temptation, man. Money is just so freaking tempting. Crazy tempting. But that's that. Yay, Toronto Guy Hangout. So you learned about rich people. And I don't care what anybody says. Yeah, Bezos, he did evil things, but the guy wasn't stupid. Anyone who goes and says, hey man, he's only where he is because he's white. No, he's where he is because the dude friggin' had ambition. For crying out loud. Alright? Hopefully I'll never work at Amazon. That just looks like a crazy place to work. But anyway, that was that. 8 viewers. I'm popular all of a sudden. So let's see what's going on in the chat. More money, more problems. I don't compel, but ooh, blacks in Canada. Where do you find no fault divorces have ruined a lot of lives? Yes. Yes, man. That's why, man, if I get blessed by the Lord and come into some cash, man, via the lottery, thank God I ain't got no ball and chain tied to my ass. Jeff Bezos is not pissing away money. I agree, man. He's investing it. As I said, those little machines that go across the floor at those plants, those factories, they're built by like Amazon. So bloody hell, just keep investing in yourself, man. I mean, if you end up owning a restaurant and you have enough money, go out and invest in owning a butcher shop so you just buy your meats from your own stock. So Bezos is very smart, very cunning as well. I like skinny now. Thank you. It's probably the horny goat weed tea that I bought earlier today. Posted a picture of it. But anyway, that was that. Roughly 2 hours. I think that's good enough. My voice held up, which I'm happy for. So, see to go all right. I guess we'll do it again next week. I'm not going to talk about rich people. We'll talk about food stuff. So we're going to talk about Michelin star restaurants, what's on their menus. We're going to talk about the most expensive restaurants to eat. We're going to talk about certain foods and other stuff. This has been Toronto Guy. Go and invest your money wisely. Daniel, you want to invest your money wisely? Green bar out there. And yes, thank you for everybody for tuning in, and also for people, a nice what's the word? Civilized. I assume I wasn't watching it. Conversation in the chat. I saw people pointing fingers, but as I said, I got no mod, so I believe in free speech. So there we go. So tomorrow, that's right, football tomorrow. Football season continues. Be here for that. I expect all 8 of you to be here. We'll see you next time tomorrow. Go have lovely days, lovely nights. Go masturbate. Yay. Oh yeah, and my baseball card collection, man. I should show that off too. So next week I'll show you my baseball card collection, which is in a box that's taped, and it's been taped for like 20 years. So I'll show you that too. Go do stuff, for crying out loud, with your silly lives. Thanks for joining.